Indian history is one of the most important subject for any government exam preparation, especially for the civil services exam. Either this is for UPSC or for your state PSC. So whenever we talk about history, or whenever you hear the word history, what is the first thought which came in your mind? Come on, put your comments. Whenever you heard the word history, what is the first thought that develop in your mind? You heard history, what? Yes, good. Past, past. Fantastic. Very good. So obviously, generally, whenever any person hear the history, so the first thought is past. And some students also told that history, that means past. History means various dates. History means the kings, etc., etc. Yes, it's true. History is a bridge between past and future. We are living in present, so history connect our previous days, that is past, and will provide message for the future, or will provide message which we use in present to build our great future. So we can say we can say history means obviously past, or history is a story with message or lessons, or we can say history is a bridge between past and future. And we all are studying this class for civil services examination, and after this exam you will be the administrator. So any administrator, any leader, they should most learn the history, because history given us the lessons or message. Well, uh, we should start. First of all, why we should read history? If anyone asks why, so there is a very fantastic quotes about history, that is, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin and culture is like a tree without roots. And that's why history is one of the most important subject, because history is connect your origin, your cultural knowledge is connect to you with your roots, and roots are the basis for growth. That's why we're studying the history. And the second most important reason is there is in syllabus. History is in syllabus. That's why we have to read history. Well, start karte hain. So finally, here the two important aspect of syllabus for UPSC CSC examination, which is given by the UPSC notification. As you all aware about the syllabus and pattern, so in pattern there is a prelims examination and as well as mains examination. UPSC just wrote few sentences about the syllabus. In prelims, they have just given one single line about the syllabus, that is history of India and Indian national movement. Whenever they told history of India, obviously this include the whole or all dimensions of history. That means you can say the ancient history, the medieval history, the modern history. They never mentioned separately ancient and medieval and modern, but they just mentioned history of India. That means all these dimensions, and Indian national movement. That means the freedom movement. So we have to read this part, the Indian national movement, separately, and we have to make more focus on that particular part. Then whenever we are talking about the syllabus of mains, so in mains, as you all are aware, there are 4 GS papers. In GS paper 1, there is the subject history mentioned. There are 3 parts of history in GS paper 1. Part 1 is Indian heritage, or we can say Indian art and culture. Second part is Indian history, and third part is world history. This is the third part. So what is the syllabus saying about the history? UPSC, what is saying about the history? So there are 5 various topics. First one is Indian culture, salient aspect of art forms, literature, and architecture from ancient to modern times. This is the syllabus given by the UPSC in official notification. I'm telling you about this. Okay. Second point says modern Indian history from about the middle of 18th century. Whenever you hear the word century, for example, here the mention is 18th century. So when I'm told 18th century, what do you mean from that? Kindly put your comments whenever you hear the 18th century word. So from which year to which year this word refer? What do you mean from 18th century? Kindly mention the year. Great. 1701 to 1799, or not only 1799, it's obviously 1800. Okay. So whenever any century mentioned, that means if they mention 18th century, that means 1701 to 1800. Okay. For example, we are presently living in 21st century. So 21st century start from which year to which year? Mention 21st century. We all are living in 21st century, and probably we all are died also in the same century. Yes, 21st century. Correct. 2001 to 200. Yes, 2100. So the syllabus told modern Indian history from about the middle of the 18th century. That means from 1701 until the present. That means obviously when they told present, that means till now. Significant events, personalities, and issues. Now there is a question why they mentioned here 18th century or 1701, because at that time the important empire of that particular time, that is Mughal Empire, was declining, and some new powers are became the most prominent in Indian history. That means there is Marathas and some European powers. So that's why they divide this subject or this particular area at this point. The third important thing is, as I told in the prelims, the freedom struggle, or we can say Indian national movement, or we can say Indian freedom movement. Its various stages, that means the extremist, the liberal phase, and there are various other phases, the Gandhian phase, and important contributions from different parts of the country. That means various leaders from different parts of the country, various organizations from different parts of the country who are worked for the Indian freedom movement. I hope you all are aware about these basic things. Then the next point is saying about after the independence, post independence. That means after 1947. Post independence, that means after 1947. And there are 2 important things. The first thing is consolidation. That means the unification of the Indian various princely states, and reorganization within the country. So the first step is unification of various princely states or kings, and then reorganizing these all princely states in modern state. Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. At that time, there is no mention of these states. Finally, the fifth topic is the world history. So there are 3 various dimensions. In world history also, they mentioned some important topics. Generally, world history we should cover from 16th to 17th century till the Second World War. So there are some revolutions like French Revolution, American Revolution. There are some important world wars, World War One, World War Two. Some important terms like colonization. India was a colony of Europeans as well as various other Asian and African nations. Decolonization, how colonized decline, political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, which divide the world into various groups.